Good evening, lords and squires, and thank you for tuning in to the 9th episode of JWCTV, where we bring you all the latest threats, gossip, and salt. I'm sure by now you've noticed that the Postie is with us, as we're ramping up for the championship game tomorrow night. Before any of that, I'm going to hand it over to the King with announcements. King?
Thanks, Hand Ryan.
You're welcome, King Ryan.
As you already mentioned, Hand, tomorrow is the big game we've all been waiting for, the championship game hosted at the Wolf's Den. And also, as you might have remembered, we asked you to save the date for Labor Day for a special event. Well, we'd like to share that today. Shout out to Lord of Chaos. He would like to host this next tournament. And he's calling it, of course, the Chaos Draft, where we're going to use over 50 sets of Magic. So we'll randomize those 50 sets of Magic, and then each player will pick 2 and pass 2 cards. Likely do 12 to 16 people tournament. It'll be double style elimination with prizes. Your 3 packs will be chosen at random. And we don't have a location yet, but stay tuned on that. We'll have one soon. Then we also had the summit, which I thought went as well as it could have gone. We were a lot more organized this year. It still took 2+ hours, which is less than last year.
2 hours and 49 minutes.
Less than 3 hours, and no filibusters this time, so that was great. There were some changes coming to next season, so I felt we should recap a couple of those here just to make sure everyone's on the same page. So we had 2 changes to our deck restrictions. Mass land denial and chaining extra turns will now be legal week 1 next season. So unfortunately, I know we're all super excited about expanding, but we will be postponing that for 1 more season just to give Squire Brandon some more time to basically become available for Mondays. We're also implementing kind of a cool small new rule in home court advantage. So anyone that's hosting around is now allowed to pick their own seat, own table, and own seat before everyone else draws their seats.
Just to clarify, you could potentially select yourself to be in Game of the Week.
Yeah, that's what that means, because you're picking your exact seat. So if that seat is on Game of the Week, go for it. Maybe, I think the thinking of this rule was maybe there's a particular seat in the house that you're most comfortable with. Maybe it's away from distractions, or it will distract somebody else. I don't know, but that could also be something you choose too. And also we made a slight change to the incentive structure for the consolation bracket, in that the winners of each of the consolation tables in round 10 now get an automatic entry for the meta selection for the next season. And then the third entry goes to the next person with the highest point total, which is pretty interesting. And then we made a change to our upgrade lock-in period, bumped that up for 24 hours. So now people have an extra day to see what people put in their decks for the next round. And then finally, the one I'm most excited about, we are now shifting our pricing to be 100% within ManaSync. So no more screenshots, no more manual checking. ManaSync will look over your deck list and tell you whether or not you're over budget.
It is actually still set to lowest.
It is set to
So it's the same exact price bracket that we've been using. It's just ManaSync tracks it all.
Right. Last season, prices were polling from Scryfall in a different way. Sellsword can bring you through the specifics there, but he made a change now so that it exactly ties to Moxfield Low, which is the pricing that we were using. So I feel like that may be a little bit more changes than I was leading on. It's quite a few changes, but they're subtle changes.
Except for the one that changed the rule, changed what we can have week 1. I feel like that's the big one.
That is the biggest one. Although I do, it is scary when you say, oh, mass land denial and chaining extra turns are now legal. But I still think the cap on tutors, the cap on game changers subdues that, similarly to how it subdues the 2-card combos. And again, if 2-card combos are legal, I feel like those are a little bit harder to do. So yeah, more things can happen week 1, but just my personal take.
Yeah. And so what's the over-under on if Spud comes with a mass land denial and extra turn deck?
I'm definitely putting positive odds on that.
Okay.
Don't have an exact number on that. We'll get back to you once we talk to Vegas, but yeah, it's going to be a higher probability. Yeah. I know Summit is not everybody's favorite. It can get a little testy. It's busy work, but just appreciate everybody for showing up and working through all that. I think it went the smoothest it's gone this season, and hopefully we build on that. Hopefully they become shorter and more efficient until we don't need them anymore and we're just locked into a rule set. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah, and thank you, Jägermeister, for even joining virtually, given your circumstance.
Big shout out to Daddy Jaeger.
And speaking of not expanding to 16 quite yet, let's do a quick check-in with the Squires. They played their round 8, actually at Tabletop.
Cool.
And we have some footage, because actually you and I made an appearance during this game.
We did.
Let's take a look at that.
All right, we're pulling into tabletop for the Squire game. Fixed parking lot, I see.
This land holds great beauty.
I think I just saw Chris walk in. Oh, it smells so good in here. Is this for this game?
Yeah, I've had the same like non-gamer dice for all of this.
And the JWC JV boys are off.
Rushland.
Brandon going first.
Brandon going first, followed by Matt the small, and Matt the big, and Squire Chris in the 4 spot.
Terramorphic Expanse.
Good evening, lords and squires, and thank you for joining us at tabletop for Squire Round 8. And yes, the king is here too.
Damn, turn 1 Esper Sentinel from Big Matt. Oh, what is Brandon doing over here?
Oh, don't look over.
Oh shit! Soul Ring Arcade Signet. Okay. All right.
Top deck. That was luck.
I think Little Matt is winning though, cause Pizza Land. Squire Brandon missing another land drop. It appears the curse of no postie is back on.
Have it listed for like 11, but I don't.
So again, Big Mac casts Soul Warden, followed by his commander. Little Matt counters with Broadside Barrage. And Big Matt follows up with Tymo's Safekeeping. Nice sequence. Squire Brandon playing a JWC legend right here in Gisela Blade of Goodnight. So crazy turn for Squire Chris here. He played a Cursed Mirror, copying Gisela, now quadrupling damage to his opponents. So he swung Wolfguard at Little Matt, killing him with commander damage, then swung the copy of Gisela at Matt the Big, dealing 40 flying damage.
Now this is not.
Wild turn.
This is not Gisela.
It's no longer Gisela.
Just before the guys are playing. So we're
Brandon swung this at Matt. With Gisela out, doubling it. Dealing 20, but you're gaining
I gained 13
by playing.
by sheltering.
Guys, see that?
Which that was it had
Crazy
it
sequence.
was like you're at a crossroads because it's like they have to make the cards really good for the other end.
Tap for
Actually,
4.
I'll throw this guy in there too. These.
Blocking with all 5 of those.
I'll let you do the math. I'm going to tap for 4 and cast Congregating. So I believe there's 17 creatures on the board.
Woo.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Alright, so what happens here?
He
So
gains.
then I gain 38 life.
Yep. And when he gains that much life,
Oh, on the stack?
Here, so 38 plus 25 is 63.
63. That's going to be lethal. Right? 9, 13, 17,
So yeah,
17,
everything dies.
21. He got
Just what damage?
21. He's blocking 21 of
I
that.
probably should have put some on him, but
So 63 minus 21 is
No,
40.
it's also halved.
Yeah, it's all half.
42. Well, I'm just doing I'm doing that first. So it's 42 and then 42 halved.
21.
Wow.
oh shit.
Wow.
Does it kill?
You just did.
He killed him by
21 commander damage?
exactly 21. Okay, so after much deliberation, we had, what was the toughness again? 21. So we had 21 toughness here, which means at 63, he's literally getting through 42 damage, which is halved, which is 21 commander damage, which is exactly enough to be lethal.
So I swing everything at you.
All right, so
Now there's a class.
Squire Chris comes within 2 of killing
Well, he has trample.
Big
Yeah,
Matt.
but you have
But yes.
And then
77.
Big Matt
Worth of-
plays
Yeah, you're right.
this,
And then
And now you're up to 77.
if only he
which
had
creates
haste, I
him
could double his
77 tokens,
Don't forget to
Okay,
gain
so I
life.
gained
gains him
77 life.
77 life. and then he's now going to distribute 77 counters on his creatures. Insane.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had much else coming.
I didn't have a lot in the bank, as it turned out.
GG's. How we feeling? I know you got knocked out first, but you did try to stop Soul.
They're evil and they tried to kill me. I definitely didn't have VV in hand, and I was not going to draw 8 cards in a turn. Not me. And a Jessica as well. I was going to kill them all. But it's okay. We come back, do it again.
What do you think of the game?
You know, it wasn't bad. I got ahead pretty quick, but you know that's the curse. You know, everyone thinks you're the threat. Ended up focusing Little Matt, but I mean Big Matt made an enemy now, so sorry Big Matt, but you'll probably get taken out first next game. All right, and that's pretty much it.
Squire Chris, how are we feeling about the end of that game?
I am totally happy with the way this game worked out. I'm all for really, really aggressive games. When you have a damage doubler on the board and then another damage doubler on the board, I also got to gamble and just throw everything at Big Matt. Turns out if I had thrown everything, maybe I would have won. So no complaints at all.
Right. GG's. And Big Matt pulling out the win. How are we feeling about your performance on that one?
Feeling pretty good. I gained probably like 120 life that game, so it kept me alive, let me survive the quadruple damage we were taking for a second there, but thanks to combat tricks, instant life gain, I was able to sneak in perfect combat damage on Brandon and then survive the clap back from Chris. So,
how about
and
that
then
top deck?
that top deck of fate, I guess, believe in the heart of the cards, pull the Verifor, and made 77 tokens and swung out and won. So,
hell yeah!
Felt
Congrats
good.
on the win.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta say the Squires are starting to figure it out. That was a classic JWC game. That was sick. The quadrupling damage with Gisela, with it getting copied, the big swing and the crackback and the just missing and Mathis for blockers and the crazy top deck from Big Matt.
Yeah.
Awesome game.
Yeah.
Awesome game.
Last round was the playoff round. Real quick recap because we do want to get into the championship game analysis. Let's start with the constellation table. What happened there?
As Lord of Chaos predicted when he got bumped out of the playoffs last round that he was going to win both games of the constellation bracket, and he did just that for this round. Sounded like Mothman did its thing and took over that game, and Lord of Chaos won.
And next is playoff game 1. That was at the Spider's Lair up in the dining room, and I believe that was your game, King. How would that go?
That sure was my game, and it was an interesting one. Once again, we had the theme that we've had recurring all season, where there were pretty much 3 players, 3 decks that popped off early, and one deck that started a little bit slower, was left unchecked, and then was able to build up their engine to a point where they could no longer be stopped. That person this game was the High Sparrow. So I'll be honest with you, that night the Queen went into labor, so I've kind of blacked out on everything else that happened before that. I played some cards, I was doing some strong stuff. Honestly, I was just happy to be there. I made it by the skin of my teeth. I had a chance to defend my crowns. Lord of Whispers was building up some scary stuff. He had Angelic Sellsword again, which was going to create him a bunch of tokens. He had Gimli out, which was getting huge. It gets like a counter for every ETB, so every Norn trigger, it's getting big. I think at a certain point, it was like a 20-20. Of course, he swung it at me, but I did have removal. I killed that. Captain Rook was doing his thing as well. He got to a full party pretty quickly and had a draw engine online. High Sparrow had Helga out, but that was pretty much it to this point. So the 3 of us were kind of sitting here and all chirping at each other. And then at some point, Captain Rook board wiped, kind of reset things, but hit High Sparrow a little bit less. And that's when he started to take over the game. Of course, his main engine piece, Intruder Alarm, came out and he went crazy. At that point, we went 3v1 against him. Captain Rook swung everything he had at him. Lord of Whispers didn't have much going at this point. He was pretty stunted by the board wipe. And then I got a big top deck, Urza's Ruinous Blast, which is great. It's a board wipe. Problem is it keeps legendary creatures and kills everything else. Half of High Sparrow's board was still legendary, so Helga's still there. It did kill Intruder Alarm, which is the main engine piece, so we had a bit of hope for a moment, but then it gets to his turn and he starts doing his thing again. I think he gets the dog out. It does the same thing that a true alarm does, and he's going and going and going. I did have Orcish Bowmasters on my side, which was keeping him at bay, because every draw I could ping stuff down, ping him if I wanted to. But he was drawing so many cards, he had so many answers. He killed that, killed some other things on my board. He got everything else on his board, all the way to the point where he had one card left in his library. He mills Captain Rook out, killing him, and swings the rest out on me and Lord of Whispers. Gets me to like 3 life, gets Lord of Whispers to like 13 life. Once he gets back to his turn, Whispers has nothing on his board. I have 1 card on my board. He's gonna beat us. But I do have Lauren the Third Path on my board, which allows me to tap and draw me a card and draw somebody else a card. So in the back of my head, I have 3 life. But if it gets back to my turn, I can force the High Sparrow to draw a card and die. Then it's Spud and I left. He's got more life than me at that point. He may end up winning that game, but once it gets to the Lord of Whispers' turn, this is what I'm yelling out loud, that hey, we have a chance to survive here. Because if it gets to his turn, we're all dying. Hey, I can kill High Sparrow. I can kill High Sparrow if I can just survive to my turn, and we can have a chance to duke it out. Lord of Whispers, being Lord of Whispers, is seeing red. He's got Rocco on his board. It's the only thing on his board. I have no blockers. Rocco is a 3 power, I think. Exactly what he needs to kill me. I'm not getting through to him. There's no getting through to him. He's going to kill his rival. He swings out on me and destroys me. Then you see, oh, he might have actually had a plan this entire time, because he follows that up with a blasphemous act. So I think he's thinking, I wipe the board, Trav gets to his turn, he's got to draw, he's dead, I'm going to win. But the unfortunate thing for Lord of Whispers is pretty much all the rest of High Sparrow's creatures are bigger than 13 of this. So that board wipe sort of fizzles. It ultimately gets back to High Sparrow's turn. He's able to swing out on Lord of Whispers and get the much-deserved win. Congrats to you, High Sparrow, for making the championship game. Unfortunately, in the process, you've knocked me out, ending my streak of 4 straight championship games in a row, but very excited to see what you and your deck does in the championship game. GG's.
Thank you, my king, and sorry you will not be able to defend your crown at the championship table.
Thanks, Ian.
With that said, last game of round 9 was the game of the week, and that was Darth Ryan, Kingmaker Kiki, last place, and the Sellsword. We do have video footage that we're going to jump into. Something that our viewers should know going into it is that 2 lords at this table, Darth Ryan and last place, both only needed a 3rd place to get to the championship table, and that dramatically affected their play. Darth Ryan kept a hand of counterspells, and last place, he kept a safe hand with Voja, right?
You just have to not get last.
Yeah. The one thing that I have been sort of preaching the whole time against Voja, and that's counterspells. And that's exactly what Darth Ryan did with his with his spells. He literally counted Voja, and it really became a waiting game. The Sellsword finally got his good game.
Oh.
Yeah, and this was the first time that Kingmaker Kiki played against Sellsword.
Oh, wow.
So I think he was a little uncertain on how his deck would fare against that, and he felt, I think, more comfortable going to the championship game versus
that uncertainty breeds
fear. Yeah. And I handed off to Sellsword. He had a great game. But no more of that. Let's just get to the tape. I think it explains a lot.
Game of the week this week should be called Lame of the Week. With 2 lords playing for 3rd and keeping suboptimal hands, it was a battle between the 2 that needed a win. The Sellsword sets the stage early, playing a ghostly prison.
3, playing ghostly prison.
Oh, yeah.
Last place attempts to cast Voja.
I'm just going to do it. I'm going to tap 5. I'm going to attempt to play Voja.
But Darth Ryan did what he'd been chirping about all season and countered it.
Like counterspell.
All right.
Okay.
Darth Ryan proceeds to do nothing for the remainder of this game. The Sellsword continues his rise to Threat Con 3, playing a Mirari's Wake.
Really changed nothing for me.
Correct, yeah.
Playing Mirai's Wake.
I watch it. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Led by Kingmaker Kiki, the table discusses its removal, while Darth Ryan finally plays a card on his turn 4.
What do you expect? You got me! I want to play a Fel Spectre. I know you.
Commodore Guff, Nekusar, and Voja All join the party over the course of the next turn, while the sellsword better positions himself. The sellsword then plays Belladros Witherbloom, causing last place to notify the table that they have to deal with him.
Yeah, we got to deal with him.
Kingmaker proceeds to start the count and asks Darth Ryan if he is going to wheel.
Are you gonna wheel at all the time?
This is because he has an answer. Darth Ryan does not wheel, and Kingmaker Kiki plays Urza's Ruinous Blast, wiping the board of several of the threatening pieces.
Urza's Ruinous Blast.
Fuck.
He follows that up with asking Darth Ryan again if he is going to wheel.
Are you gonna wheel?
Darth Ryan wishes he could wheel. Darth Ryan wishes he could go home, come back and start this game again the next night. Kingmaker plays a smothering tithe. Last place goes full throttle and swings at the sellsword 3 times with Voya drawing cards, taking some damage, and generating lots of treasures for the Kingmaker. Darth Ryan nearly brings in the divorce attorney in a 7-minute turn, only casting a Felwar stone and passing.
Not bringing in the divorce attorney. He's gonna come through.
Kingmaker Kiki plays All Will Be One, followed up by Deep Glow Skate, generating a mini combo allowing him to kill Sellsword's Witherbloom creatures and deal him 3 damage to the face. He then plays Spark Double, dealing 12 damage to the Sellsword and 6 damage to each. Last place, and Darth Ryan. The Sellsword tutors for swift reconfiguration and uses it on Barrington Medic.
I'm going to equip it with swift reconfiguration.
This is where things start to get interesting, but not really. Not at all, actually. Kingmaker plays Teferi's talent and is now able to use Planeswalker abilities at instant speed. There is a lot of banter at this point. Last place responds with a generous gift on the Sellsword's enchantment.
I've got a response.
You sure?
I'm gonna generous gift you enchantment.
My enchantment?
Yeah.
Sellsword responds with Teferi's protection.
2-3. I'm just going to Teferi's protection.
And last place responds to that with a beast within, targeting the same enchantment. Kingmaker waits a turn cycle for the Sellsword's return. He plays Chain Veil, followed by Teferi Temporal Archmage. From his many abilities on board, he is able to direct 5 damage to Nekusar, sending him back to the command zone. The Sellsword finally brings Miracle to the party. Kingmaker Kiki responds by exiling Barrington Medic. Sellsword uses Dredge Return to bring back the medic.
Creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield.
But the Kingmaker responds by exiling Miracle.
Exile Miracle in response to that.
Everyone then watches as the Kingmaker slowly drains everyone's life totals to 0, securing his seat at the table. GG's, Sellsword, and Kingmaker.
And with that, we have a reading from the High Sparrow, the final reading of the season.
Oh.
Take it away, High Sparrow.
Thank you, Hand Ryan and King Ryan. That actually is the last time we'll be saying that. But all good things must come to an end. And welcome, my lords, to the Grand Citadel. And who knows, maybe soon we will be celebrating in this Grand Citadel. And we continue our story from last week with Inception of the King's Shield and the Trap in the Age of Chaos. Feeling deeply betrayed by his former ally, Cowducky sent out an urgent call for aid. The church answered, dispatching their lethal Justicar to bring holy justice back to this lawless lands. King Cow took in the Justicar alongside a battle-hardened wandering merchant from the Wildlands and established them as his own personal elite royal guards. And it was not just any sellsword who answered from the untamed Wildlands, though. It was this notorious mercenary known and feared across the entire realm simply as the Threat, and will always be the Threat. Side by side, Lord Justicar and the threat stood as a wall of flesh and iron before the Reaper King.
Hail to the king, baby.
Holding the line against encroaching shadows of the 3-point, recognizing their abilities and devotion required to keep the realm stable, Cal Ducky did more than just swear them to secrecy. He elevated them to true nobility. With their official ascension to lordship, the realm recognized their lands, adding the jungle, the Lord Justicar's lush, untamed wildlands that were formerly sovereignized. This dense jungle served as a perfect holy stronghold, allowing the church's reach to firmly anchor itself in the south as they worked to rebuild their divine influence. And the guild halls, the sellsword, or as we know, the threat, established his own seat of power. These newly constructed massive fortress became the central hub for the realm's most dangerous blades, fortifying the king's defense with a permanent garrison of lethal force. Yet paranoia gripped the king. Wary that his alliances could double-cross him at any moment, Cal Ducky to bring in an ally whose blood guaranteed absolute loyalty. He granted his own brother formal lordship, charging him with a sacred duty of keeping the family line preserved. Thus, the Jägermeister entered the JWC tournament, establishing the infamous bomb shelter. The heavily fortified subterranean structure served as the ultimate stronghold to keep the royal family's line preserved. The underground bunker was built to withstand physical siege and the toxic political fallout of the 3 points, standing as an unbreakable vault of absolute loyalty to the Ducky line. Though these new bastions of power were built to be unbreakable shields of Cal Ducky's golden era, even their combined might could not foresee the trap Captain Rook and Lord of Whispers were able to spring, leaving the newly landed lords to watch the kingdom slide into the age of chaos. The king finally felt secure upon his throne, but he had underestimated the patience of the spider lair. The Lord of Whispers' ploy was finally ready. Captain Rook's harbor wasn't just a domain, it was a beautiful laid trap. Dangling like a fly in the spider's web, the trap snapped shut. The realm instantly thrown into absolute upheaval as the 3 points roared back into contention for the crown. But as the king's guard, the 3 points and the royal house tore each other apart on the brink of total chaos, a forgotten shadow stepped out of the dark. Avoiding the traps in the politics and the blood feuds, only one lord found victory amidst the wreckage of the playoffs. The throne was seized, officially bringing the end to the golden era and ushering in the realm into an unpredictable, volatile age of chaos, as the Lord of Chaos himself had finally taken the throne. At this point, the realm was completely shifted and never has been the same. So, my lords, as we sit on the brink of the playoffs and a new king will be crowned, I hope you will all see that the church has always been trying to help you. But I digress. I will send it back to you, Hand Ryan and King Ryan. And I will see you, Hand, at the winner's table.
Thank you, High Sparrow. It's been an awesome season. And good luck in the championship game.
Just have to reiterate that. Thank you. Man, Walker runs deep, we know that, and history also runs deep in the JWC. Tons of lore, and without the High Sparrow, we wouldn't have record of that. So big shout out to you, High Sparrow, for bringing us through the entire history of the JWC.
Yes. So like last episode, we had another 4 lords drop out of contention, and they each reflected on the season, and we're going to watch those now.
Hey everyone. So I've been doing a lot of reflecting on my deck since the last time we played, after I was knocked out. And overall, I'm very happy with it. I wanted to build a deck that was very interactive and had a lot of answers for a season where I expected a lot of combo, or at least a lot of fast decks. And I think the deck did really well into that. However, I had a few weaknesses. One of them was just aggro. I don't feel like I was fast enough most games to kind of build up defenses against some of the more aggressive decks. And I also didn't have very consistent access to card draw, which led to me really not having, enough resources in a lot of games that I, ended up getting third or fourth in. But overall, I'm very happy with the deck, and I think with, different draws or whatever, it might have done better, but that is Magic. So I think this was a great season, and I'm looking forward to the next one, and good luck to everybody in the finals.
I thought this season as a whole was awesome. I think having the strong Voja performance out of the gate was an incredible storyline, and especially with Cal Ducky's performance of kind of maintaining a powerful second place for most of the season, but neither of them appearing to be completely overbearing once the midway point of the season landed. I think that was just awesome. I think Jeff got the short end of the stick because what would otherwise have been a very strong deck just kept getting hard countered by just pure bad luck. Similarly, Mothman would probably have done some serious damage, but he keeps not drawing lands, so he gets stuck there. So it's unfortunate luck, but the actual season as a whole was still very close all the way to the end, and every week there was some new shakeup, something new to learn, and I think it was awesome. I don't know if it's the best season we've ever had, but it's probably up there. Myself, my own performance, and Merkel's performance, I was going into this season hoping to build a deck that didn't end up revolving around one singular piece, being my commander and just having that glaring weak spot. When I picked Merkel, I understood that it was a very strong piece, and I wanted to try building like a hybrid aristocrats and enchantress theme. It didn't really work. I'm not happy with how that first $100 deck turned out. I could have done something much better, much cooler, if I just went in either one of those directions instead of just splitting it down the middle and not really getting an effective deck that does either. Some weeks I would only draw like basic aristocrat stuff and no enchantments. Other weeks I would just draw a ton of enchantments and nothing to do with them, or I would not draw enough mana or ramp or something, and Merkel could never get out, or Merkel was finally out and then that was it. I just get deleted. I think round 9 was probably the best game that I played that I'm the most happy with. I know I got 4th, and I probably could have played it better, but I was really happy to see finally a lot of cards that I just never drawn or even got a chance to really use, like, come out and be synergistic, and my commander truly had like nothing to do that entire game until I tried to survive. I will be rebuilding this deck to do something cooler with it, probably some kind of final boss thing that's more befitting of Merkel's actual stature. But as far as this season goes, I'm pretty cool with how it ended up performing at the end, but a lot of those games are just boring. I don't do anything but sit there and ramp until someone decides to kill me, or I just lucky draw into a win. 3 weeks in a row, and then everyone goes back to just trying to kill me. So, what are you going to do? I'm the threat. No, I'm the only one in the league that's never been in a finals table. That's what that is. So, I will try again. Next season, if the meta permits me to build a less centralized deck or something. I don't know. I'm also happy with Mana Sync and all the Mana Sync developments that happened. That's probably 75% of the reason why the Merkle deck didn't come together the way I wanted. Was a lot of my brain power was spent on getting Mana Sync ready for the season itself. And yeah, so good season. Looking forward to the next one.
And that brings us to the fourth one. That's you, my king.
Yeah, so obviously I'm out. And I came into the season with two big goals. Obviously, one being to defend my crown, to be the first person to get to 4 championships, and clearly we have fallen short of that goal. I was pretty happy with the deck from a gameplay standpoint. I think Torgal did his job. The good boy protected his owner as best he could. There was one time Mothman came at me and he got big and mighty and protected me. We snuck out 2 wins in there too, but I think overall the deck was just kind of came up short and didn't fully do its thing consistently enough. I felt like it was always at least like 1 turn behind in this meta. Part of that could have been like I wanted to build something, first of all, flavorful. That's why I went with Torgal, but also unique. And so it was just kind of a from scratch build, but that made it sort of a hybrid approach where it was like half +1/+1 counters, legends matter, and half like janky ETB loop combo thingy. And I had some really cool combos in here. There was Iridu, who gave all creatures persist. So with a sack outlet and Ryan out, which comes in with 3 +1/+1 counters, I could just sacrifice Ryan, and then he comes back with a persist, and then he himself distributes +1/+1 counters, giving infinite counters to all my creatures and getting an infinitely big Torgal and smashing face that way. But I never quite got there. Almost every game I was 1 piece away or 1 turn away. So it was sad that I didn't get to show that off. But we did have that one round where we had the 100,000 life, which was pretty cool. That was like a random thing I didn't even know was in the deck, but that was fun. Overall, the deck did well for what it was, a janky partners hybrid deck. But the second goal mainly was flavor, and I'll talk more about this later, but I think we absolutely crushed on the flavor this season, and I'm very, very proud to say I think this was the most flavorful season ever. That said, I will be passing the torch at the end of this season, and we have some very interesting candidates of who that might be. I think any of these 4 that take it are going to crush it and really build off of what we've done here this season, and really looking forward to it. Why don't we get into that?
Sounds good. How about we start off with who the 4 are?
Yeah. So we've got one of the mainstays. He's been there many times. I think only missing 1 championship game since post-merger era. Sellsword or Lord of Whispers can stat check me on that. But, of course, the infamous Kingmaker Kiki is there with his team. I'm walking here, and his commander, Commodore Guff. And then we have 2 other returning players to the championship table. Each of them actually have not been back since the last time they won the championship. That's first, we all know him, the High Sparrow, who last showed up in Season 10 and won that season with Dargo. He's coming now with Helga and his team Panic at the Pond. And then the other is Darth Ryan, who we learned is actually a quarter of Kaldaki, who hasn't been back since Season 8, which was also the last time he won the championship. And he is bringing the very scary Nekusar and his team bite the pillow. And then for our last challenger, for his first ever time at the championship table, good old last place, aka the Justiciar, and his commander Voja, and his team, Elvin Johns Furry Fury.
So I have something I should probably tell you, and it's probably pretty obvious at this point because you're talking about Cal, and I appear to be Cal. And we've been talking about Cal being lost in purgatory. Now, all the Ryans have the ability to appear as Cal. So I am, in fact, Darth Ryan.
Well, Hand, I appreciate you coming clean to me, but I have to admit, the king does have eyes and ears everywhere. As I've said before, you kind of look exactly the same. So I did know, and I gotta admit, I was nervous that this was some sort of scheme, some sort of plot against me to eventually betray me. But I gotta say, Darth Ryan, you're pretty chill. And I know you get a lot of hate maybe for the commander, and you kind of got this dark thing going on, but it's been fun. Hand Ryan, Darth Ryan, Cal Ryan. It's been fun.
Thank you, my king. All of us Ryans have been looking for Cal and trying to bring him back. I'm still the not nice one of the four of us. I'm on a quest before tomorrow to reaching a new level that could push me over the edge.
Okay, that's very ominous. Don't quite know what that means, but Cal is an absolute JWC legend, and I wish you the best in saving him and bringing him back. The league would benefit from him coming back, so good luck.
Thanks. And just to keep everyone's comfort level, I'm going to go back to looking like Cal.
Sure,
And you can refer to the fourth player of this game as Cal.
Awesome. Love it.
Landfill told me everything about you. I feel like I know all you guys. So we won't have that awkward get to know each other stage.
Perfect.
And if I could just ask one favor.
Name it.
If it wouldn't be too uncomfortable, I was hoping maybe you guys could call me Landfill in honor of him.
Yeah, sure.
So like round 8, where we had 3 Ps and a high sparrow.
Yep.
This game, I feel like there's a rock, paper, scissors match and then a high sparrow. We have Kingmaker Kiki, who's planeswalkers, right?
Yep.
Voja can really get through that. The stacks from Kingmaker Kiki actually are very heavy to the non-combat damage stuff. Doesn't really affect Voja like that, so I feel like Voja is taking out Kingmaker Kiki.
Yep.
Kingmaker Kiki has a very good stacks versus myself. I've experienced it multiple times.
Yeah. You guys had that famous
yeah.
game round. Was that
where
round 7?
Yeah, where he almost milled out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And I had no cards in hand at that point because of the stacks. I kind of did it to myself with the Fairy's Puzzle Box, but we won't talk about that. I have a history with puzzle boxes. Let's just say that. Kingmaker Kiki, again, stacksing out Nekusar. He does stacks out the table, but he has very specific things. He can't take damage from non-combat.
Right.
Then Nekusar is pretty good against Voja. So Nekusar doesn't have a lot of creatures, but Nekusar can get over last place with his non-combat damage faster than Voja builds up, unless Voja ramps like crazy.
Right. Yep.
So I think Nekusar beats Voja, Voja beats Kingmaker Kiki, Kiki beats Nekusar, and then we have High Sparrow. Now High Sparrow is sitting nicely in the sense of he can win the game.
Yep.
The engine is a lot of card draw.
Right.
So that puts him at kind of a negative. But that's sort of rock, paper, scissors, or the infamous Spider-Man.
Yep.
Pointing. That sort of frames the table.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can get into some more details. I know I did a few of the details.
Yeah, no. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Every game I saw High Sparrow in, he did his thing. I think he won 2 games that I played him. Usually that damage dealer, he can get around because once he starts to get going, he's drawing so many cards that he finds an answer. Like in the game I just played him, I had Orcish Bowmasters out twice, and he was able to handle that. Obviously, Nekusar stunts him, but Nekusar's one creature.
Yep. And so, well, Nekusar's one creature, but most of the creatures are pinging cards.
Yep.
There's actually ones that are more powerful. Nekusar's actually the nicest one because he also lets you draw a card.
Right.
So there's some incentive to keep him on the board. Right. Whereas Shielder of the Apocalypse, she's a mean bitch.
Right. So it's not just Nekusar there. So yeah, there's a world where if Darth Ryan gets a full engine going, there may be a point where even if High Sparrow has his engine going, he can't really answer it, and it does stunt him. If it's not just a Nekusar, if there's a Shield Dread out, if there's another one of those pieces out, could possibly slow him. But again, I've seen High Sparrow
Yeah.
handle things.
Nekusar hasn't faced off against High Sparrow in quite a few rounds.
Yep.
And when they did face off, being that it was early enough, once Nekusar was sort of stopped or slowed down,
Yep.
it was like High Sparrow was being held down,
Yep.
and suddenly Nekusar left, and he
Right.
was able to soar.
What happened to Nekusar? Why did he leave? I don't remember. I don't quite remember.
I think
that.
you might have got nervous when he peered in the abyss.
Yeah. Yep.
The old sellsword.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oof, that was a fun one.
Yes. It's why this table's so interesting. It could go both ways
Yep.
there, but there's definitely like a push and pull between those two decks. So back to your other point, I think you went more in depth for this, but it was something that stuck out to me too, that there are 2 creature heavy decks and 2 not so creature heavy decks. Depending on how that goes, it could be a strength or a weakness.
Yeah, for both sides.
For both sides.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy about it.
Nekusar can shoot nuclear bombs
Yep.
over the top of
Yep.
Voja's creatures, or if Voja gets super fast, he can swing in and kill both Kingmaker Kiki and Nekusar.
Yeah. And last place is actually scared of Nekusar.
That brings me to another thought that I had too, though, is that this makeup of players, there's not a ton of history. There's no obvious rivalries. There's no bad blood, at least from this season. I mean, you have 2 players that haven't seen each other for 2 seasons in Kingmaker Kiki and High Sparrow. There may be some short-term game memory because Darth, Justiciar, and Kingmaker just played each other last round.
Yes.
But it was kind of a weird, muted game in the fact that 2 of them were like locked in
Yeah,
with
like we were saying, they need. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
so-
Weird game. You would think we just saw 3/4 of this game.
Yeah.
Not depiction.
Not a normal game.
Yeah.
Now all bets are off. Everyone's playing to win.
Mhm.
You're going to see everyone going full bore and trying to do their thing. That's a way different game. There's no history coming into this game. I think we see more of a true Magic game.
Yeah, no vendetta. Like, you did this to me last time.
Right. Yeah. And then also, I think what's interesting is it's like another 50-50 split is you have 2 aggro decks or faster decks in, I would say, Nekusar and Voja, and then 2 mid-range decks in Commodore Gluff and Helga, in that they want the longer game.
Yeah.
And once it gets to that point, you kind of snowball, and they're impossible to stop. Both Kingmaker Kiki and High Sparrow that way. Once they're on, really stopping them.
Yep.
And then Voja and Nekusar, who come out typically when they win games hot, burn you out, or swing out with combat damage, are a little bit more impacted by game resets. That said, we've seen long games with Voja before. We've seen long games with Nekusar when he played Kingmaker Kiki. I think this is going to be one of the more interesting championship games we've ever had. There's so much push and pull and so much compliments to each of these decks that it really could go any way, I think.
Yep. This is a very generic thing to say. The mulligans are a big deal here.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I guarantee that I would have not kept the hand that I kept in the last game. It literally was Fierce Guardianship, Counterspell, Chaos Warp, and 4 lands. I kept that hand because it was basically, if anyone comes to me, like, get away from me. If you look at me the wrong way, I'm countering your next spell. I said it already, but I countered Voja. That did set Voja back. I don't think that that's something that's a vendetta move. We both knew that we needed 3rd place. It was kind of one of those, I don't want Voja out here because I feel like Voja could easily just come at me. I didn't really have especially that game, I was keeping counterspell. I think I cast Nekusar. It was a bad game for me. I've seen Kingmaker Kiki get land screwed with hoping for that 3rd land. It kept him back, but I think he ended up winning that game because we were like, not really doing anything.
Right.
And then the 3 of us fought it out. I think that might have been the game he ultimately went against me and almost milled out. That game went long, but in the beginning of that game, I don't think he was doing much.
Yeah.
So we didn't focus on him. Let him get out his stacks.
Slowly build.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, recurrent theme this season. That slower deck in the beginning, left unchecked, gets its engine out, and then bam.
So you mentioned that Voja's been in long games, everyone's been in long games. I still think that long games favor Kingmaker Kiki and High Sparrow.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah, their decks are built for that. Whereas Nekusar and Voja can do it, I would argue they prefer the long game.
Yeah, I think so too. If anyone starts to have a really bad game, they're going to get taken. Like, I don't think this is the game where...
Yeah.
Although it happens a lot. The championship game, everyone's in it until the end.
I know. Yeah, the championship game, we should look back on this too. I'd be very curious to see this. Sellsword or Lord of Whispers, on average, how long is the championship game? I think just go off the top of my head, I feel like it's the longest game every single season because of that, because everyone is going full bore. But it's always long.
Yeah.
It's always long.
To that point, I believe your game went 5 hours.
Yeah.
Over 5 hours?
Over 5 hours.
Actually, we have a quick bonus footage of that game.
No way. We found it?
Yeah, we found it in the archives.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Yeah, let's take a quick look.
Discarding a forest, a mountain, rhythm of the wild, last laugh, and root bound crag.
Okay.
Your turn.
Okay, you win. I'm not kidding.
What?
You win.
How?
Because I phase back in, and then I take 3 damage to the One Ring on my upkeep.
No way.
No way!
Are you serious?
Wow,
Yeah.
I
That's what you gotta say. Surprise! Surprise!
And that was just over 5 hours in, I think. It was about 1 in the morning.
Yeah. You'd have to ask everybody else that was there because I don't quite remember it. History would say that those mid-range decks may have a slight advantage here being a championship game, and that championship games tend to go long.
Yeah.
But it's the JWC. You get surprised every single season, every single game. So who knows? It could end up being an hour-long game this year. And who knows? A long game could favor one of the more aggro decks too.
Not to point fingers at Kingmaker Kiki and High Sparrow as being the only long game players, because I mean we were talking about Voja, but even Nekusar could come back, especially late game.
Yeah.
If there's enough mana, he top decks a wheel, able to play something, wheels again. I mean, any of us have the ability to win the late game. Really depends on how we get to the late game, obviously. If High Sparrow is going off like High Sparrow, the game doesn't go much longer than that. If Voja has got a field of creatures and he's him drawing cards actually for all the wolves because they all become wolves, right?
Yep.
Is a problem for him because of Nekusar.
Right.
So that's another.
It's a primary strategy.
Yeah, Nekusar is actually a problem for 2 draw engines, I guess.
That's either good or bad for. I know I keep splitting both sides here, but that's either good or bad for Nekusar in that he's got an advantage against 2 decks, and that both of them want to draw cards, and he's going to slow that down. But that could now mean he's drawing the ire from both of those.
Correct. Yeah. So
players.
he's not sitting in a great spot with that.
Yeah.
So the big thing for me in this game, I'm the only player with black. The big thing with that is that means I'm the only owner of Orcish Bowmasters. So the downside to the only playing black is my Exotic Orchard and my Felwar Stone aren't pure mana fixing.
Remind me what Nekusar's mana cost is?
It's Grixis +2.
Did you know this is the first time anyone's ever played Grixis
that
in the
was me.
JWC? Yeah. Also, just wanted to add, the long game thing keeps coming up. I'm not sure how many people have been paying attention to upgrades, but Last Place has a substantial amount of board wipes in his deck at this point, which I believe is strategic. That said, the board wipes are probably better served against his deck at this point.
Yeah,
because
him and High Sparrow are most impacted by board wipes because Kiki with the Planeswalkers,
not
unless
gonna be
it's
touched.
not gonna be touched.
Yeah.
And then Nekusar, he'll lose a couple creatures, but some of his things are enchantments.
Exactly.
So I mean, we've seen that happen.
Spot removal is much more effective against him. So I really don't see those board wipes becoming big unless a High Sparrow starts to take over this game, which obviously can happen. Very interesting to see if he mulligans a certain way for more or less board wipes, but there are a lot of board wipes there, which could cause the game to go longer.
Yeah. So High Sparrow has had Intruder Alarm out for I think over 50% of the season.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he continues that.
When it matters most.
When it matters most.
Yeah. He does also have the other one, the Doggo, that does it, Chakram Retriever. So he's got a little bit of redundancy there. He draws so many cards. That's why he ends up with that piece all the time.
I mean, we've talked quite a bit about Last Place and Voja. I think we talked a lot about Nekusar.
Yep.
I think we talked a decent amount about High Sparrow. We did talk about Kingmaker Kiki, but just to add a few specifics, I mean, we were talking about his stacks pieces.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how quickly he gets out certain ones. I mean, he has the ability to string extra turns, so that's obviously a big deal. I personally still have a little PTSD from the game that I almost won milling him out because the only time I played it was one of the upgrades, the Teferi's Puzzle Box, which I mentioned. I drew 1 card. His stacks piece, people are only allowed to draw 1 card.
Yeah.
he played that after I played Teferi's puzzle box. When it came back to me,
Yep.
I drew one card and then couldn't draw any more. Had to put them all on the bottom of my deck and then not draw anymore.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be able to draw however many you put on the bottom of the library. So I was playing the game with no cards in hand, with no way to do anything. That card is scary.
Yeah.
That card is very scary it's kind of scary for everybody. I just think it comes down to what planeswalkers come out and how quickly they come out. I know that's a very generic, like, pucks to the net kind of comment.
Yeah.
But it's true.
I mean, it's everything. And ironically, in my opinion, a couple of his powerhouse planeswalkers are the Teferis that he has. One of them is the one that gives him the extra turns, and the other one that, like, dominated the game I last played him in was the one that gives his planeswalkers the ability to activate their abilities at instant speed. So that's when he was doing them all off turn, and he was incrementing them all and giving them all and proliferating them all, and then a Chainveil came out and it was game over. So so there's a fair amount of Teferis. I think he's got like 4, and then your puzzle box going on in here. Clearly this is going to be an interesting game. 4 awesome players, 4 awesome decks, tons of ways they can interact with each other. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And that brings us to the pack opening. I'm going to let you take this away.
I know Hobbits just came out, and by our standards that we set forth, we would typically be opening Hobbit right now, but we're making a small pivot this week to Avatar, which we would have gotten to pretty soon. I think even next week, maybe. But we're going to Avatar early because, as many of you know, the princess was born, and she was born on July 22nd, making her a water sign. The queen is a fire sign, and I, your grace, am an air sign. So now we are only an earth sign short of all 4 elements, and since I'm the airbender, one shy of me being the Avatar mastering all 4 elements. Anyway, we are going to be opening Avatar.
You mentioned you had a special guest to open this pack.
We sure do.
I think we should make a little bit of room for our guest.
Yep.
So I'm going to move the Posty here.
Bye, Posty.
So now that we've made space, you want to bring your guest in?
Yep, so it's only right that we bring in the princess and the queen. Say hello to the lords and squires.
Welcome, royal family.
Thank you very much, Anne. So, Queen, would you do us the honor and open the pack? It seems like Sophie wants to open the pack. So
you can open the next one.
This is Princess Sophie, everyone. And as you all know, this is the Queen. As you can see, she is rocking mono green as a reference to my most played color and earthbending. Yeah. Want to get ripping?
Yeah, let's do it.
Thanks for joining us. I think I'm going to have Princess Sophie choose the pack. So would you mind holding those up? All right, Soph. Which pack? I think that meant right.
All right.
All right. So we have the Avatar, The Last Airbender Collector Booster.
Yes.
We're going to be opening today.
Yes.
All right.
Sophie's super amped.
Yep.
Super amped for Avatar. She wants to.
We pre-opened this. Oh, it's okay. Never mind. It's right.
You got it?
Okay.
Like, come on, Mom. Open the pack.
So don't worry. We've done 9 other episodes of this, and we still don't know how to open boosters.
Yep.
So
You're actually doing way better than...
that was way better than Spider-Man did.
Spider-Man, he was a superhero, and he could not open the pack.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Other way.
Other way?
Yep.
Like this?
You can pull. That's just the token. You can pull it.
Oh, okay.
So just go ahead and read them as they come.
All right. So we have a token. Copy.
Nice.
There they are.
Sophie said she wants to get the Badger Mole Cub. Oh, the rares are first? Is that a rare?
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a rare.
Flip it over for a second. What's the back card? Is it if you flip the other? Okay, so they're all the right way. That's weird. I guess.
I think the rares are first.
All right.
Whatever.
Wow, let's do this.
The Unagi of Kyoshi Island. Oh, that's the awesome serpent. That's super cool. It's like a full art too. Ooh.
Suki.
Another Kyoshi warrior, and that is actually a alt print of Captain Sissy. This was in my season deck. It's quite fitting.
Wartime protesters. They're very upset.
Yeah. Those firebenders.
Oh, Oh, Momo.
Oh, Momo. Yeah, all rares first. Ooh, Earth King.
Lieutenant.
Beautiful
A
forest.
land. Solid ground. Cloud shift.
Oh, that's good. Exile target creature you control. That's a playable card.
Komodo Rhino.
Yeah.
Bitter work.
Is that tough?
Fire sages. The Spirit Oasis. Compassionate Healer.
Is that Katara? No, maybe not.
Rough Rhino. There's a lot of rhinos.
Yeah,
Mhm.
even Sophie's like super quiet right now.
Airbending lesson. That's actually a great card too.
And that's that.
I like how you. That's it.
Nice.
Thank you, Queen.
Are we doing the other pack?
No, that's actually.
Oh, we forgot about that.
No, we could say. Do you have a trivia question that you'd like to? We give this pack away to someone who can guess the trivia question.
Oh, yeah. So do you want to come up with our trivia question for the week?
Sure. Trivia question this week will be, what time was Princess Sophie born?
Oh, I like that.
Whoever guesses that right, as you know, wins this collector booster of Avatar.
Awesome. Thank you, Princess Sophie. Thank you, Queen.
Thank you. It was a great season. A good reign.
A good reign.
Good reign.
Until next time. She's pissed off that you guys knocked me out of the championship and I don't get to defend my crown. So take it up with her. So that was awesome. Thank you, Queen and Sophie, for closing us out for the season. Since this is the last pack opening of the season, I figured we'd tell the lords and squires of the lands about the little thing we've been building here. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So you might be wondering what's happening with all of these cards that we've been pulling on each of the episodes. Well, they've all been being stored away into what we are now calling and starting this season as the JWC library. So all cards in every pack that we pull here on JWC TV will be added to the JWC library for any lord, any squire to access throughout any season to put into your season deck if you so choose. More logistics on that coming soon, but here is the JWC library.
So
Yeah.
let's do a quick rearrangement, get the postie back over here, and we'll have our closing remarks.
Perfect. So, hand, as we've mentioned, I'll be giving up my crown after this, and the season will be ending after this. We will have a new king. We don't know what's going to happen after that point, and so as my final episode as king, I just wanted to take a minute and say thank you to all of you, lords and squires. I appreciate every single one of you so much for everything you've put into this league, all the sacrifices you've made. I know we have some of our salty moments and many disagreements, but every single one of you guys show up every single Monday. You show up for each other, and that's what counts. Obviously, we all love the game, but we wouldn't keep coming back if it wasn't for hanging out with all of each other. I truly believe that we have the best group around. We're more than that. We're a family, the JWC family, and it's been an honor to be your king this past season. And then as for my hand, nobody has sacrificed more than you this season. I think back to when I won the crown, I set on a mission. I wanted to restore the glory to the realm and have the most flavorful season yet. And I asked you if you could help me with that, and you didn't hesitate, hand. And I would say that you delivered beyond expectation. I've said it already, but this has been the most flavorful season yet. We've got the JWC TV. We've got the sigils, the houses, the map. You crushed it, and I couldn't be more appreciative for everything that you've done this season. So as a small token of my gratitude, I got you a little something. I know it's not, hope it's not too much, but I know you've been searching for Cal Ducky. He's lost in purgatory, and you've been very busy with the season and putting together JWCTV and everything. So hopefully this can help you find him.
Wow.
So, thank you for everything you've done.
Whoa,
a great hand.
Thanks, King.
Thanks, Sam.
No one can see me right now. Thanks, King.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate you.
So the season ends tomorrow night. But until then, stay hydrated, my lords. I mean, I was going to work on editing this episode tonight, but I think I'm going to put
Yeah.
together like
Take a break.